It was a weird day at the White House today where our First Lady, Melania Trump, hosted the second day of her global summit titled Fostering the Future Together, which is basically a commercial for AI in education. And she made quite an entrance. You can see they really are looking for the future because she had an unusual escort. One of those robots is Melania, okay? The other is Figure 3, which is a humanoid that can complete simple household chores like doing laundry, loading the dishwasher, and it can teach your children. And then in the corner there of the screen is the French First Lady, Brigitte Macron, who picked a weird day to visit. No one's exactly sure what they should do here because, she's kind of suspicious walking alongside this robot as it approaches the First Lady of France. So Melania stops, and then Sacre Bleu. And it only got scarier from there as Melania pleasantly informed us that we will all soon be replaced by machines.
The future of AI is personified. It will be formed in the shape of humans. Very soon, artificial intelligence will move from our mobile phones to humanoids that deliver utility.
Did she say utility or fertility? Because that is competition in the bedroom her husband does not need. Maybe someday we will have a robot president. Couldn't be worse than what we have right now. We got a sneak peek at what might be in store for Team Trump come November at the elections. I mentioned last night, Mr. Ban Mail-in Voting voted by mail in a special election in Palm Beach. This is a district Trump won by double digits 2 years ago, and the district he lives in. But seems like maybe the magic is wearing off because last night, a Democrat, Emily Gregory, scored a major upset over a Republican that Trump endorsed. She won one solidly red seat in the state legislature, which is a real kick in the golf balls for Mar-a-Lago. Let's just say there are a lot of tiny fist-sized holes getting punched in the White House drywall tonight. 2 days ago, Trump said the Republican candidate, John Maples, had his complete and total endorsement and that John will never let you down. And he's right, he won't, because he's back to work as a financial planner. He lost the race. The idea that Trump voted by mail at the same time he's trying to ram this Save My Fat Orange Ass Act through Congress right now, which is a bill that would do away with mail-in ballots, has put leaders in the GOP in a bit of a pickle. Trump gets a sizzle reel every day that only shows us attacking them. NBC said there's a daily montage. It typically runs for about 2 minutes, sometimes longer. He sees it every day. One official described the videos as a series of clips of stuff blowing up. And these video briefings are said to be fueling concerns among some of Trump's allies that he might not be receiving or absorbing the complete picture of the war. He's only seeing the positive stuff, which helps to explain why he keeps saying we already won the war that is still going on. I mean, do you know how many lives and how much money we could save if we just quietly brought everyone home from Iran and showed him Call of Duty clips instead? White House spokesman Caroline Leavitt released a statement pushing back on the story. She said, anyone who has been present for conversations with President Trump knows he actively seeks and solicits the opinions of everyone in the room and expects full-throated honesty from all his top advisors. That sounds like him, right? I mean, this is the guy who said, I know more about ISIS than all the generals. That's very collaborative, Donald Trump. Just step back and think about this. Every day, they're bringing him these fun little action movies of us blowing stuff up. Everyone's telling him how great he's doing. He's got 4 whole cable networks dedicated to kissing his ass 24/7. His staff is terrified to ever bring him any bad news, and he has the memory of a worm at the bottom of a bottle of mezcal. And this is the man in charge of sending our children to war, at least the ones whose dads don't have a good podiatrist to get them out of it. It's really something. Our own government is making war propaganda videos for the person running the war. Even Kim Jong-un's like, that's a bit much. I don't know. The Iranians have said they will not accept Jared Kushner or Trump's special envoy to the Middle East, Steve Witkoff, as negotiators. The Iranians have a nickname for Jared. They call him the sorrowful broomstick, which sounds better in Farsi, and it's weird that the Iranians don't want to negotiate with Trump's son-in-law, whose primary job experience before this was holding Ivanka's purse. It seems very unfriendly. They want J.D. Vance to be the point person on talks, which is funny. I mean, this is the first time anyone has ever wanted to talk to J.D. Vance. Even his wife, Usha, was like, are you sure they said J.D.? Source said that Iran sees J.D. Vance as a more acceptable diplomatic figure than Witkoff and Kushner, in the same way canker sore is more acceptable than herpes. But do you know how much you have to suck for someone to demand you be replaced by J.D. Vance? And it's not an easy position for Vance to be in, because Trump hates it when anyone gets credit for anything. So it really isn't in J.D.'s best interest to do well in Iran, because his White House key card might not work when he gets back to Washington, D.C. JD's like, guys, can we please just get back to blaming immigrants for our problems? Remember the eating the cats and dogs? What happened to that? I love that. But anyway, the lives of millions of people are now in the hands of a man who struggled to order a donut. The president has been very successful, you have to admit, in changing the narrative from the Trump-Epstein files to the war. There's been very little in the way of repercussions, in this country at least, for the many men who socialized with Epstein and did business with him, including one of his former lawyers, Epstein pal and Trump sycophant Alan Dershowitz.
Had President Trump been in charge in 1935, 1936, I think the Holocaust would have been prevented. I think he would have gone in after Nazi Germany. He would have destroyed it the way he is destroying Nazi Iran, and the Holocaust would have been prevented.
It's incredible. Donald Trump is now stopping wars from before he was even born. He's a peacemaking time traveler. If Trump had been president, Anne Frank would have been wearing a MAGA hat and getting jiggy to Kid Rock. In some states, gas prices have now jumped more than 30% over the last 2 weeks. And according to the White House, no, they haven't. But what happened to all that oil we got from Venezuela? I thought we were going to be swimming in it. And on top of that, the blockade in the Strait of Hormuz is preventing imports of nitrogen, which is a key ingredient in the fertilizer American farmers need to grow crops, to grow our food. The price of fertilizer has skyrocketed since
When you stop looking at these stories as separate headlines and start connecting them, a much bigger picture starts to come into focus. Just look at what happened in Florida. Less than 2 years earlier, Trump had won that district by 11 points, and before that, the Republican who held the seat won by an even bigger 19-point margin. Even with that history, a first-time Democratic candidate managed to flip the district, making it the 29th legislative seat Democrats have flipped since Trump's second term began, while Republicans haven't flipped a single Democratic-held seat. That result got even more attention because Trump reportedly voted by mail in that same election, even though he has continued supporting efforts to limit mail-in voting for everyone else. In other words, he used the same voting method he's repeatedly criticized and tried to restrict. The White House brushed it off as no big deal, but many people saw it as a much larger contradiction, arguing that one standard seemed to apply behind the scenes while a completely different message was being pushed in public. Then there's the conflict overseas. According to multiple reports, even some people close to Trump have been worried that he may not be getting the full picture. Those reports claim his daily briefings are narrowed down to mostly favorable updates, leaving out footage of casualties, offering very little about the financial cost, and providing only limited details about the broader military strategy. Based on that version of events, Trump has continued telling Americans that victory has essentially already been achieved, even though the conflict is still ongoing. At the same time, 13 Americans have reportedly lost their lives, government spending tied to the conflict has reached around $16 billion, and gas prices have reportedly jumped by more than 30% in just 1 week. Critics argue that decisions this important should be based on the full reality, not on a carefully filtered summary that focuses mainly on positive developments. Then there's the diplomatic side. Reports claim Iran refused to negotiate with Jared Kushner and also rejected another representative from the administration. According to those same reports, the only American official they were willing to speak with was J.D. Vance. That's surprised a lot of political observers because it suggested an unexpected change in who was seen as an acceptable channel for communication. Those reports also claim Trump has been uncomfortable with the attention Vance could receive if those talks were successful, raising concerns among critics that internal political interests could end up getting in the way of the person they believe has the best chance of moving negotiations forward. Meanwhile, public discussion about the Epstein files has largely faded from the news. Reports say Trump's name appears multiple times in those documents, although appearing in those records alone does not prove any wrongdoing. The investigation connected to Epstein's New Mexico ranch ended in 2019, Pam Bondi declined to testify under oath, and Alan Dershowitz has made several widely debated television appearances defending Trump. Some commentators believe the timing of all this isn't just a coincidence. They argue that as coverage of the conflict in the Middle East has grown, public attention has gradually shifted away from the Epstein files, pushing that controversy into the background. If you haven't subscribed yet, I'd really appreciate it. I always enjoy hearing what you think, especially from people who have lived through more political cycles than I have. So share your thoughts in the comments, leave a like if you found this discussion valuable, and subscribe if you want to see more in-depth videos like this.